All right. Hey, guys. Welcome to Stand Up Fantasy Football, your premier Zoom channel. No, sorry. Let me take that back. Damn
This
it.
should be the intro. Always make the mess ups your intro.
Oh, yeah. Hey, guys. Welcome to Stand Up Fantasy, your premier comedic choice for daily fantasy sports betting. I am your host, Alex Dominguez. My co-host, Steve Josephson. Say hi, Steve.
Hi, Steve.
Funny. And we have not one, but two guests today. Returning guest, he's an award-winning playwright, comedian, writer, all-around nice guy, and Seattle Seahawks fan, Mr. Dave Hansen.
Yeah.
And also, first-time guest, you've seen him on Orange is the New Black, Sneaky Peek, Inside Amy Schumer, NCIS New Orleans, Boardwalk Empire. Guys, please welcome Mr. Mike Houston.
Yeah.
Woo! Hey,
What's
good
up,
to have you,
fellas?
Mike.
Yeah, man, good to be here. Go Broncos, eh?
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
Here we are.
Ooh, awkward.
Oh, boy.
Awkward.
Yeah.
So, Mike,
Yeah.
you are a first-time guest. So
Yeah.
I'm going to lay down the ground rules just so you know right off the bat. Daily fantasy sports betting site. We're going to use only the Sunday games. And we are going to enact the Dave Hansen rules, which means you cannot pick an entire squad based on your home team. So it can't be all Broncos, can't be all Seahawks, Dave, can't be all Dolphins, Alex.
Mix
And
it up a little bit.
Yeah, let's try to, let's give ourselves a chance to win here.
It
And we're
can't be
playing for
all
big
I would do all
49ers.
Broncos. I would do all Broncos, but it's all IR stuff, so
Hey, you're actually not as bad as my Niners.
we'll get into it.
Can we talk about that for a second? I mean, Steve,
we
you
go.
remember week one, I said with the show,
Yeah.
with no preseason, no training camp, you're going to see a lot of injuries early on. That's exactly what we saw last week. I mean,
Big
Jimmy
ones too,
Garoppolo.
man. Big ones. Like
Yeah.
Huge.
all our players, like all the headliners, like it
Saquon
was
Barkley.
shocking.
Christian
Man, I was
McCaffrey's
sitting
out
there-
this week.
And when like on my phone, I have Bleacher Report on the sends me notifications, and it was insane to just keep watching one after the other. Nick Bosa, Mostert, Garoppolo, like dude, I feel you, brother. Like watching the Niners, they just picked one after another, and I just thought, man, this is crazy times, man. And on our
What's
side,
interesting?
Drew Lock going out. What's that?
I was going to say, I'm sorry to cut you off, but what's interesting about that is they still my Niners still destroyed the Jets.
That's not a thing to brag about.
Yeah,
That's
come
like,
on, man.
hey, I destroyed a middle school
Yeah.
a PE class.
Bully.
Half the kids didn't even want to be there. That's
It was an
the
amateur
Jets.
league. It was one of the.
I
it was
mean,
like a
I
group of
gotta
guys
have
that met in the
something,
parking
right?
lot.
No, you don't get anything.
You're not even going to give me that.
Never.
Oh,
Never to a
okay.
Niners fan. Never.
Listen, man, do you know that the Indianapolis Colts right now are the top defense in daily fantasy simply
Crazy.
because they're playing the Jets? And Indianapolis Colts, they're fine, but
Yeah.
the defense is not like you didn't draft them on draft day, So that's all I'm saying about Jets. That's all I'm saying.
No, it's like Miami last year, Alex, but it's different. Now we're just anyone against the Jets.
Yeah.
Period. That's what we have right now this week.
Yeah. Well, and Steve, you're lucky, man, because you got one of the best backups, I think, for quarterback in football. I mean, that guy could start on. Remember when he came on?
Yeah, I
When
know.
Garoppolo was down. Oh man.
Here's the thing, though.
So-
Steve is in love with Jimmy G, and I don't
So
mean
handsome.
I don't mean a fan of his athleticism.
I didn't think you did.
He finds the man
Sexy,
attractive.
Sexy,
He is.
sexy
He's
man.
a handsome man.
Seriously.
And now he's a
He
hurt
brings
handsome
a very
man.
specific look and machismo to the NFL that I think was missing on the quarterback front.
He's a limping goddess. That's what he is.
Alex, if we could get a shot of Jimmy G right now with like some soft melodic music,
Yeah.
Soft
But,
glow
also
behind
with
him as
his,
well.
like,
yeah,
super thick hair, like that thick brown
just
hair.
luscious
like-
hair.
Okay,
Dates
hold on.
porn stars.
You know what he is? Jimmy G should always be a backup because he's too pretty to be a starter. He's going to start looking ugly as he takes on the pressure and the stress and the injuries. But if he had remained, he could have been like Charlie Whitehurst for the Pats for years. Just this handsome guy in the shadows, hanging out, getting the money, and still getting the girls without any of the hip replacement.
I mean, look at Brady though. Brady is a handsome guy.
Yeah, I was come on, I hate the guy, but the guy's handsome. You can't.
He's handsome.
He is.
Yeah.
All right, who wins in a toss-up, fellas? Tom Brady or Jimmy G? Whose poster are we putting on our teenage wall?
Brady.
I mean, it's
Brady.
He's the GOAT, man. He's arguably the
No, we're
greatest
just going
quarterback of all
looks.
time.
We are judging him strictly by his appearance.
I would say Brady.
Jimmy G, because here's the thing. Brady's a yoga vegetarian only eating guy. He's just limber and loose, and his body looks like just melted cheese. But Jimmy G, I think, is a sculpted Adonis.
I mean, Brady's married to Giselle.
I don't care who they're married to. That was not the question.
Listen, Brady's a winner, and that's what I go with.
He's a winner.
Yeah, Brady
Jimmy
wins
G,
Super Bowls.
we won the NFC Championship last year.
Yeah, I mean, it's not easy to get to the NFC Championship.
It is not. It is not easy.
Should we go to this week, Alex?
Yeah, let's go to this week. Let's start off at quarterback, shall we?
I'll go first.
Go for it.
Russell Wilson is my pick for quarterback. Russell Wilson.
What? That's so surprising.
I would never have guessed that, Dave.
It shouldn't, not just because I'm a Seahawks fan. You guys, everybody should pick Russell Wilson for that.
No, he's lighting it up, man. He's lighting it up. They're talking about MVP already.
Dave and I were chatting during the last Seahawks game, and Russell Wilson's game is on a different level right now. Yeah. Like the way he drops back so fast and reads the defense so quickly, which is
I feel like all of it's coming together this year. And granted, it's week 2. Who knows? It could all fall apart. But I feel like his skill set, everything seems to have built up towards this year. Like I feel like there was parts he was great at in previous years and other parts were lacking. And this seems to be one where everything's on the same page and it's working really, really well.
As opposed to the other years where he won multiple championships.
Dude, and imagine if Josh Gordon gets his shit together.
To be fair for Josh Gordon, I mean, look, he got drafted by Cleveland. Who else wouldn't fall into a drug habit if they had to play in Cleveland?
Yeah, that's tough, man. That's
Johnny Manziel, maybe?
Look, I'm just saying, like, it's Cleveland. What else are you going to do?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That also goes back to, Dave, what we were talking about week 1 about the cohesion and how there really wasn't a lot of new pieces on the Seahawks. And that familiarity is, I think, what we're really seeing here on the field.
I completely agree. I think especially with this season with no preseason and the restrictions on everything, the teams that have the most already set up glue for their squads are probably going to do better early on, especially, right? So anybody who's dealing with new rosters, a lot of new pieces is going to have a hard time, especially if they're dealing with rookies. Or injuries like the Niners and Denver. But yeah, I think you're seeing teams that have been together for a while. I mean, Schottenheimer, the offensive coordinator, this is his 3rd season with the Seahawks, so everything's starting to gel at the right time. So,
well, if you look at the teams in the AFC, the teams that are like at the top of it are all teams that were together last year.
Right.
There's very little change. Or the Bills were together last year, the Chiefs were together last year, Ravens.
Yep.
Titans, even the Titans were, they had
made that crazy playoff run.
Right, Ryan Tannehill.
That was awesome.
Yeah, so these players that already kind of know each other, know the system, especially offensively. Like getting used to the offense at the very beginning is a little harder. There's a lot more timing involved. So defense is more reactionary.
Right.
And so you're going to see teams that have a little history or like been together at least a season do a lot better than those that have just been put together.
But bouncing off of that, Alex, you look at Arizona, man. Kyler Murray, second year in the league.
He's starting to light up, eh?
He's starting to light up. Got a number 1 superstar receiver this year in DeAndre Hopkins.
Yep.
They're getting the running game together now.
They're dangerous. That's a dangerous.
Yeah, they are
squad.
dangerous. Same division that we're talking about right now, too, Dave.
This week, I'm gonna stack Phillip Rivers with T.Y. Hilton.
That's it.
Nice.
I love that.
Right.
They're playing the Jets.
I'm kind of stacking. I'm going a little off the rails here. I was trying to play matchups specifically, and I always like to go for the cheap quarterback so I can play with some money for the other position players.
Yep.
So I went with Trubisky and Montgomery.
All right.
That quarterback running
I
back.
love that call too, Mike. I love that call too. I'm on Mitch as well.
I think Trubisky is one of those guys, man. I've been pulling from him since day one. My wife is from Chicago, and she's a big Bears fan. And I remember one of her best friends. He actually was the guy that married us. He went off on that Trubisky pick, just how awful it was, and yada yada yada, what they gave up for it, and all that stuff. And it was just like, hey man, like this guy's not like a terrible player. He definitely regressed a little bit, but I don't know. I think he's going to have a good year. He's not going to be outstanding, but that's why I said like I wanted to go like for a deeper pick so that I could get my Higbee and Mike Evans. Mike Evans is one of my receivers. Ever since the Brady thing happened, I just can't imagine Mike Evans not doing well unless he's hurt. You know?
Absolutely.
That's a good point.
Absolutely.
I think Trubisky's great just because of his name. You can't get a better Chicago name.
It's a great Chicago name.
Mitch Trubisky works in a garage when he's not throwing footballs. This guy.
Or he's a butcher. Like
he's a butcher.
Butcher shop. Yeah.
Trubisky Brothers Butchers and Briskets.
Mitch Trubisky.
Mitch Trubisky.
I like that Mitch Trubisky. Doubles.
He's a pretty good guy. No, he's pretty good. Listen, that first day of spring, Mitch is out there with his shirt off, grilling, just like everybody else in Chicago. He's a regular guy. I like him. I like him a lot.
We got a Trubisky sandwich.
Trubisky sandwich.
Trubisky sandwich.
Trubisky.
3 times.
We got a mac and cheese. It's a Mitch and cheese. We got a Mitch and cheese.
Mitch and
cheese. Mitch and cheese. Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
We need it for our brother Mitch because he plays for the Bears.
Try this Trubisky brats.
Yeah, Trubisky brats. Get them while they're hot. They're always hot because it's Mitch.
It's Mitch.
I love it.
Get Mitch or die trying.
That's what I always
that's
say.
A different thing. Anyway.
I love Allen Robinson this week. I don't have him in.
Oh yeah, all right. I mean,
I have to work him into a lineup, but he's going against Isaiah Oliver on Atlanta, and Atlanta that game could very well be a shootout. And Isaiah Oliver is one of the worst corners in the league, which I still don't know why he has a job. I'm looking at the numbers here. I'm looking at the numbers.
I'm not saying you're wrong.
He's given up a lot.
Steve, who do you got?
I said Kyler Murray.
On that, we got to take a break real quick, and we'll be right back with more stand-up fantasy.
Hey.
All right, so moving on to running backs. What do we have?
Yeah. Let's do it.
Who wants to go first?
I'll go first.
I'll go for it. We know what you're going to say.
I chose not
Carson.
a Seahawk. No. Nick Chubb.
Hey.
All right.
All right.
I feel like Cleveland's going to start leaning into that run game more because they're going to get more traction from it, and they're at home against the Washington football team. And they're not both. Neither team's great, but I feel like Chubb's going to be highlighted a lot and probably going to put up some good numbers.
Had a huge game last week. Yep. I like it.
Yeah, dude. I like him a lot. I had him last year on my fantasy team. He just puts his head down, man, and runs.
Yeah.
Now, does it worry you that he has to split snaps with Kareem Hunt?
No. I think he's still going to do all right, especially if he starts doing well. They're going to lean on him more than split. So he's going to be. Washington's not great, so they're going to get shredded, I think.
All right. I have him on my fantasy, so I do like Nick Chubb, and he had a hell of a game last week, even with Kareem. I think Kareem had a couple of touchdowns in that game as well.
They combined for an average of 6.6 yards per carry last week. The run game against the Bengals was just unstoppable.
It's like last year with the LA Chargers, with Eckler and whoever else they put in the backfield with him, whether it's Melvin Gordon or whoever. I don't know who's their second back now.
Josh Kelly.
I don't know. Oh yeah, right. So, those guys both produced. Mm-hmm. The offensive scheme is set up for them, and that's what Cleveland. It seems like they've got it set up to really benefit from both of those guys. So I think Chubb's a good pick. Good job, Dave.
Thanks. Are we doing both now, or are we just going around to do the first ones and then?
You can do both.
Yeah, do both.
Do both.
My second one was Fournette. I like him. I think he's probably on the back end of his career, obviously, but in the right situation, that dude is still dangerous. He's not my number one, but I think Tampa Bay is such a mystery, and I think there's just a chance of getting lucky.
He never had a quarterback like Tom Brady, where like all the attention has to be like, this is what makes Tom Brady who he is like
just like with Brady,
opens up the game.
Yeah, it's just another weapon for Brady to lean on, and you're going to see play action, and then they're going to forget about Fournette, and then he's going to come charging through.
Well, exactly, and that's the thing. Fournette, when he was playing with Jacksonville, they always targeted him. Like, they knew
they didn't have any other options.
Be the guy that could, win the game. So like everyone just went run heavy.
Yep.
But with Tampa Bay now, man, especially with all those weapons, I thought that was one of the best signings of free agency.
Yeah,
I agree. Far. Because I don't know if he's on the tail end of his career, man. I actually think that Fournette's got another 3 or 4 solid years.
I just know those first 3 years in his career, he ran so hard and he ran so much because the Jaguars had nothing else on offense. And then they and then he had a down year, and that's usually that's potentially a signal of a running back starting to lose their touch. But maybe it's just like he just had a down year, and now he's going to bounce back in the right situation. Who knows? I just figure roll the dice and see. He's got good numbers.
But he's going to have a hell of a fantasy day for you. That's for sure.
Listen, man, this is going to be great. It's going to be great.
I'm all about positive vibes, guys.
He's the guy.
All right, that's me.
Dig it.
Mike,
awesome.
I threw it to you. What do you got, Mike?
Hey, there we are. Somebody moving the show.
Speaking of the dual running back conundrum, I'm taking Eckler this week against the Panthers. I just love that
talk
guy.
to me.
Yeah, I love Austin Eckler, man. His versatility as a receiver, it changes the game. And I have always found, and I always relate to my past fantasy. What's the word I'm looking for? Past fantasy dalliances. I've won my league 2 years in a row, and both years I had Eckler, and I just think that guy is magic. So he's also got a great matchup against Carolina this week. So I decided to roll with him.
Against a 32nd ranked run D.
Exactly. Now, the only thing is they are also going with their brand new quarterback. So, they might team up on Eckler as well, knowing that like they're going to try to force the pass. But I still think it's worth the watch.
I love that pick because I actually have Eckler in my lineup as well. And my thought process is the thing about San Diego backs is that they were always notorious for little dump offs right out of the back. It was like a safety net for Rivers. And granted, he's not there, and we've only seen Justin Herbert's play style from college, but this is a completely new system, and Eckler hasn't really performed like we all were hoping he's going to for the first 2 weeks. I think against Carolina's 32nd ranked run D, I think he can get it going in a big way this week. And I don't think a lot of people are on him.
I think so too. And I think he's still posting up, not what was his fantasy line last week? 18 points?
Last week he put up 18.8 fantasy points.
Yeah, I mean, and that's again.
No, it's a solid line.
I think so. I'm interested. I'm excited to see what he does this week against that defense.
But and again, look, look. I'm sorry to cut you off, but look at the receptions from week 1 to week 2 when Tyrod was a quarterback. Herbert targeted him 4 times. He caught all 4 receptions for 55 yards. That's where Eckler has made his money. That's where his bread and butter is.
Every time, man.
Yeah.
Every time. Yeah. And to have a guy come from an Oregon system.
Yep.
I mean, this kind of dump pass play with running backs that are essentially just, receivers that can run people over.
Yep.
I think I'm interested to see how it works out. I'm taking a risk on that.
No, it's good because I was going to say real quick, piggybacking off of that, I have him at only 5% owned also right now on a Wednesday when we're recording this.
And I like to go for those dark horse, like the guys that you don't have a lot of people in their line, don't have them in the lineups. It's every single time I've had a good week, it's because of the 1 or 2 players that I picked that like were on the low end, because that's what makes daily fantasy so fascinating, right? Is that, you know, it's based on that idea that if you get the dark horse who shows out for a huge game and nobody has that line, you know, you're in the top 5.
Shoot up the leaderboards.
Yeah.
Awesome. Who else you got? Who else you got, man?
I got Montgomery in Chicago. That's my stat.
That's right. You said that before.
With a Trubisky. Again, Atlanta's run defense is not – they looked – well, I mean, granted, they played Ezekiel, so it's like, you know, Montgomery's not Zeke, but at the same time, I just think that matchup – I also liked the salary on that one, you know, because it allowed me to kind of stack up on receivers in my tight end. So, yeah, that's what I'm going with.
Awesome.
Take it.
Yeah.
I'll jump off of that now and say mine. I went with Eckler as well. And then I also have going with the theme that Mike did with quarterback running back. I took Kenyon Drake against Detroit. I think this is a get-right game for him. I think that Detroit is just going to Detroit every single day, every single game they play. And I like this spot. It's same sort of thing, little dump-off passes to Drake, and I think he's going to get one in the house. Although his ownership right now is coming in at 26.9%, so that's real chalky. That's pretty high ownership. So, you know, you pair that, you know, with a low-owned guy like Eckler, and you could have something going here if these guys score over 20 fantasy points each.
Right.
That's where I'm at.
I read the funniest tweet the other day, man, about Matt. What's his last name? The head coach of Detroit.
Matt Gase? No.
Matt. Not Matt. What's his name? The head coach of Detroit from the Patriots. Come on, guys.
I'm looking it up.
We are.
We'll edit this out.
Detroit Lions.
Matt Patricia.
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 Big beard guy.
The funny thing is they said Jim Caldwell was fired when they were 9-7. He was fired the season they were 9-7, and Matt Patricia has now been 9-34 or something like that.
Dude, at some point, that's ownership. That's management ownership, right? I mean, they brought talent in again and again and again and again, and for some reason they can't get out of the breaks. And there's so many games that they blow it at the end, and it's
and that's the
they've
thing,
had
man.
different coaches, they've had different players.
He's a
Lion's gonna lion.
Lion's gonna lion, but at some point that's got to be the family that owns them and them not investing in the right way. Something's up on the higher up level. That's only
a myth in the Ford family.
Pro athletes, you shouldn't be this bad for this long, you know.
And seriously, they have like serious talent. I mean, imagine.
Yeah. I honestly think they committed to what's his name? The quarterback. Who's Detroit's quarterback right now? I'm forgetting.
It's
Stafford.
Who's one of the
Stafford?
What?
They should have traded Stafford away and got multiple picks and/or players for him.
I just feel bad for him, dude.
I don't feel bad for him because he got paid. He's one of those last guys that had that monster rookie contract and then extended it. So I don't feel bad for that dude at all. And he's got a cannon. I mean, he's got one of those old school Dan Marino level.
I feel bad for him because I think he's a really good football player, and I think that he's the kind of guy that like is going to leave the game without a championship.
Yeah, absolutely.
Take a guess, and it's like I just feel bad for guys like that. There's like
I feel like he'd have been better on a different squad. He'd have a different career.
Oh, yeah.
And Detroit would be better off because they wouldn't have had to spend all that money on him, which has soaked up a decade's worth of contracts they could have given out to other players rather than try to get bargain bin guys to build around a really good quarterback. It was a bad approach.
Like they don't have bargain bin guys. So that's the thing about Detroit, which is really frustrating. I think.
Galladay, Marvin Jones.
So yeah, they had they had Golden Tate. They had.
First off, Golden Tate is
Johnson.
a pariah in a locker room. He is a terrible person to be around. He's not a good dude.
Really?
He's a bad influence. He disrupts. He's terrible. He's an amazing athlete, but he's a bit of a douche. And then so he's disruptive. What's his name? Megatron retired early. Second amazing Detroit player to retire early,
which was very curious, isn't it? Right?
I'm telling you, that's team that. Detroit as a organization is the problems we got to be at the head, because it can't be all these players, because they're it's the wrong strategy, wrong GM.
Well, no, you're right, because like the players are good. Like Kerryon Johnson's a good running back. Galladay is an awesome receiver. Who's the tight end they have now?
Hawkinson.
Yeah.
So they have. You're right, Dave. Like they have the pieces.
I think it's a depressing city to be in. I think it doesn't have to be, but I think it is right now. I think it's they're used to losing, so that they need a different style of coaching. It can't be these like tough as nails East Coast style coaches. It's got to be somebody like Pete Carroll to roll in and change the dynamic and be a positive thing.
Oh my God!
They're just a mess. My team's winning. Detroit's not winning. My team's been winning.
The saviors of all. We've heard it before, man.
Positive reinforcement.
Hate Pete Carroll.
Positive reinforcement.
He messed up USC.
Whatever. You messed up USC. You know who messed up USC? Just like every school that
Pete Carroll messed up USC.
No, the NCAA messes them up. The NCAA screws up colleges.
Blame it on the commissioner.
Absolutely. Tell me the rules of the NCAA. We'll have a whole podcast about what the rules for schools are for the NCAA according to them.
Seattle's ownership, obviously, they give Pete Carroll all he wants. You know, like Pete Carroll does well when he exists in the space that like he's allowed to do what he does.
No, I think what it is. It's not so much Pete Carroll's spirit. I think it's the combination of a good GM and a coach, right? It's the coach with a GM that matches them. It is. What do you mean? What's the matter, Mike?
That's all right. Reggie Bush didn't take money.
I was saying the same thing.
Pete Carroll didn't know.
Mike, when you say you're agreeing with somebody, you sound the exact opposite.
No, I said it was Pete Carroll because he was given the freedom, right, from the ownership and from his general manager. Good relationship. Same thing.
No, same thing. I think it's that's what matters. Makes the team good. Yes, Alex.
Does anybody care what my picks are today?
No.
No one cares.
No.
Keep picking backdrops.
Pete Carroll. Alex, who do you got? Who do you got, Alex?
I got a pretty badass looking backdrop is what I got.
That looks like a field where people play football and other
There
you go. Grass.
All right, so
I shrunk Alex Dominguez.
Hey!
There you go.
Yeah. I mean, not that you're not being original. Sorry, I'm done. Go ahead.
I have James Conner and Miles Sanders for my running back.
Woo,
James Conner had a pretty good game last week, even though they thought he wasn't going to play. And he's back at home. I like James Conner. Miles Sanders also at home. And he's doing really well at home. I think he had 2 touchdowns the last time he was at home.
Nice.
I was going back and forth between Conner and Eckler, Alex.
Yeah, I was thinking Conner as well. I mean, at home. But man, I hate when they do that. I hate when the way the NFL and the way the teams do their injury reports, and like it's such a nail biter. Is he going to play or not play? And then you're like, they're going to limit his snaps, and then he goes off. You know. So I hope that happens for you this week, Alex.
All right, let's go. I think is that everybody? Did we get everybody's running back?
Yeah. Move on.
Let's move on to receiver.
Move on to receiver. Speaking of which, real quick, you're talking about nail biting and injuries, Mike. DJ Chark just got ruled out for tonight.
I just saw that. Yeah.
Oh, no kidding.
Woo!
And he's on my fantasy,
bad,
so I had to pull
get him out.
Yeah, I actually subbed him for. Let's see, who did I sub him for? Stephon Diggs, who had a big game. But he's going up against the Rams. But that's a whole other story.
That's a whole other story. I haven't even.
We can get to that. It's kind of where I'm at too. But go on for wide receiver. So let's see, Alex. We left off with you. Why don't we start with you for wide receiver?
All right, let's do it. So I stacked T.Y. Hilton with Phillip Rivers.
Mm-hmm.
I got Dave. You're gonna like this one. I got Tyler Lockett.
Good move.
I think that's gonna be a high-scoring game. So I think a lot of those receivers are just. I mean, Philip. Fuck, I'm blanking on your quarterback.
Russell.
Yeah, I think Jamarcus Russell's gonna go off tonight.
Oh, definitely Jamarcus Russell. He's great. Best quarterback in Seattle's ever had. Jamarcus Russell.
He's so going to carry the Seahawks.
I'm on a first name base with Russ Wilson.
And I got Tyler Boyd. I think I like where Burrow's headed.
Nice.
And I like Tyler Boyd. And then they're all.
I did not watch Cincinnati at all yet this season. Does he look good? Does Burrows look good?
Week 1, I felt like he looked like a deer in the headlights. A lot bit. Last week, I thought he got more of his footing underneath him and looked a lot better from my eye test.
Okay. I mean, he's got the goods, man.
Yeah, he does. And he doesn't know how to lose. I mean, he's been losing, but still, he's like one of those guys. He never lost in his entire career up until he got to the Bungles.
Well, and he's got a couple pieces around him. I like Joe Mixon. You're going to have a couple of guys around him now. I think it'll take him a couple of years, and he might be an elite someday.
I mean, if AJ Green can stay healthy, I mean, he looked a little banged up again last week. Mixon, I'm not high on at all, and it's really sad. I wanted to, but I just can't get behind him at all. I love Boyd. I think Boyd has the ability to be a superstar. But we'll see. Yeah, we'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
All
right, who wants to go next? Oh, you want me to go next? I'll go next. So I got for 3 wide receivers, and then I'm struggling a little bit with this. But I'm going to do I got DeAndre Hopkins. I'm pairing with Murray.
Yep.
And then I got I think I just figured out what I was going to do. But I have right now in this particular lineup, I have Robbie Anderson and Russell Gage. I don't know how I feel about those picks.
Wow.
I like Gage.
Yeah. They're both going to be very low owned. Robbie Anderson has had 2 huge games, but he's going up against the Chargers this week, who I really don't like that matchup. But I kind of was just filling this one out, and I feel like he's got a shot to be the number 1. They're going to have to throw a lot more if Mike Davis, who's filling in for Christian McCaffrey, doesn't pull his own weight. And then Russell Gage, he's going against Buster Screen in Chicago. Mm-hmm. That's a tough matchup any day of the week, any way you look at it. But Matt Ryan has so many weapons that he could be another breakout. He could have another breakout week this week. So that's where I'm at. But there's a lot of other options in that range that I'm looking at. You got Corey Davis going against the 31st worst pass defense in Minnesota. But Corey Davis has burned me so many freaking times. I can't get behind him.
Yeah, dude. He drove me crazy last season. Crazy. He should be the next elite. Like,
he should.
He's got the physical attributes. He's got the speed. He's got all these things, and I just don't know if they – you know what? I used to think it was that the system, that they didn't know how to coach it, but now it's just like I just don't know if he steps into that role, based on the attitude.
And like, not even just last season, Mike, like the last couple seasons.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you just had such high hopes for him.
Supposed to be, yeah.
But he had a great game last week. You can't deny him that. Tannehill is finding him. I think A.J. Brown is leaning to be out again this week.
Right, yeah.
So there's that. You got Deshaun Jackson in Philly against, Cincinnati's awful D. And then there's, down at the bottom, Anthony Miller going against Atlanta. Like, there's a lot of different options, a lot of different ways you can go. So I just kind of took a stand and going with the hot hands and thinking,
love it.
You know what people are going to say? Forget it. Chargers D is going to be solid. Chicago's D has been solid also. And going to see if I can get some leverage there with those 2 picks.
Awesome. Mike, who do you have?
I'm starting off with Mike Evans. He's my big name player this week. Dave, I've got Mr. DK Metcalf in my lineup. Just love that dude's size. I just love watching him play football. And then I went and I took Washington from Pittsburgh, James Washington.
Interesting.
Is my third because, like we were talking about with the salary and the things that I was playing with, he was the one that I could afford. But that being said, I just remember a couple games last year where, like, he was that guy that like was 4 or 5% owned, not even, and ended up having like 2 touchdowns, or 65 yards receiving and a touchdown. Like, so I'm pretty confident. And Roethlisberger looked pretty good last week. So I think that, and Schuster, the fact that he is playing sort of injured, like not at full speed. So that's where I'm going with that.
I
like those. I like those picks.
Yeah. The Washington call, I get. However, I got a 3K crapper, like we like to call them this week. And I don't know if you need it, but if you want to maybe upgrade somewhere else, although I do like both those receivers, Damiere Byrd on New England.
Yep.
Okay.
He was targeted 9 times by Cam last week, pulled in 6 receptions for 72 yards. They got you 13.2 fantasy points for 3,000 this week. I think that's a solid value pick. You know what? I'm gonna mess around here.
Well, now you got me. Now you got me in my head. Now I feel like I should just do 3 different lineups.
It's just like we had with Shang last season, Alex. Remember that? Now you mind fucked me. You mind fucked me.
Dave, what do you have?
All right.
What kind of mind fucking do you have?
Yeah.
Metcalf and Lockett, because I've matched up with Wilson, and I think they're going to throw those guys the ball as much as they can. And then I've got D-Jack because I think Philly's got to do something against Cincinnati. If Philly has any shred of what they've been the last couple of years, they've got to do something. So I figure like D-Jack's a fine third choice. I actually have Bird as my flex because I liked what I saw last week.
Nice. Yeah.
And he is that sort of like nobody knows who he is, and he showed up. He was all over the field making great catches, and is clearly somebody Cam Newton is very comfortable throwing to. So I was really impressed with that guy. He caught everything that went his way, and so I'm excited to see what he does. So that's if jumping to flex, he just because he got brought up, but it's Metcalf, Lockett, and then Jackson are my receivers.
Cool. For the sake of time, we're running a little low on time right now. So let's jump right into tight ends.
All right. You want me to start? So we can go back
for
around?
It. Yeah, let's.
Higbee. I went Higbee. Too good to pass up last year or last week. And with Kittle being out, who probably would have been my number one normally. Higbee's amazing. So that's what I went with.
Samesies.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got the Higbees over there. We knew that. We knew that was coming.
Dual Higbees.
Granted, the one thing I will say, though, I'm a little, at Buffalo, Buffalo's defense is still pretty stout. So I'll be interested to see. I don't know if Higbee's going to have the week he had last week, but I'll be interested to see how the LA Rams handle.
Who's QBing for LA?
Goff.
Oh, it's Goff. I was thinking it was the Chargers for a second. I thought it was that rookie that was coming in.
Justin Herbert is.
Justin Herbert actually played pretty well.
He played great.
He played very well.
He certainly didn't look like he didn't know what was going on. He certainly stepped in. That was pretty impressive.
Yeah. My point I was going to make is totally moot. So now that I realize I was thinking about the wrong team, so let's move on.
I took Jonnu Smith.
Nice.
Jonnu Smith.
Yeah, I like him a lot. 2
huge games so far. I was actually thinking of going, and I'm probably going to make a lineup. Wait, are the Raiders on this slate?
They should be.
Yeah.
I was thinking of doing I was thinking of doing a double tight end lineup. I'm not going to do it with this one, but I was going to do
with Waller,
Jonnu and Waller. Yeah.
Waller's playing off a short week, and he has to travel to New England.
Yeah.
New England.
England.
And Belichick has a knack for taking away your best player.
Right.
True that.
I just, I watching the two Raider games, I was just blown away. He is their wide receiver number one.
Yeah.
They don't really have anybody else.
Are you talking about Las Vegas?
Yeah, talking to Las Vegas.
I got Renfro.
Yeah, Renfro, Ruggs, but it was literally one pass after another.
Let's pump the brakes on this one.
Game.
In the first game, he only had 8 targets for 6 receptions, 45 yards.
Well, they didn't
no
need
TDs.
to. They didn't need to because the running game was just insane that game one.
Right, but it's not like they're throwing to him every other down. I mean, he had a great game last week on Monday night, which was great. But I don't know that I default to Waller just yet.
Yeah, I guess you're right. I love Waller. I love him. Well, I'm taking right now in this lineup. I have Jonnu Smith.
Follow your heart.
That's right.
Steve, follow your heart.
This lineup, I got Jonnu Smith. AJ is going to be out again, or might be out again this week. Even if he plays, I think he's going to be banged up. Tannehill likes his tight ends so much.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Okay. All right.
And,
Mike?
that's where I'm going. Oh, he said he's got Higbee.
Oh, we did. All right, we did.
I did it.
All right, so tell me, this one's for you, Mike. I got Noah Fant.
Love it, man. That guy is
at home versus Tampa Bay.
He's finally showing up as I think the tight end we drafted him to be. He drove me bazonkers the last 2 seasons. The number of drops he had in crucial first down situations, touchdowns, but he's starting to look like it's clicking. So that's exciting. I like that pick.
Well, also 2 games, he's averaging 18.4 points a game. So
True.
I think
I'll be interested to see how he does with Driscoll. I mean, he played with Driscoll last week, so
sure.
But yeah, I'm excited.
You know what? I might jump off Jonnu and jump onto Fant. There only is a $200 price difference there, Alex, and he's right now. I have him at 0.1% owned.
Ooh, okay.
Wow, no kidding.
That's huge.
All right.
If I can get 18 points out of that, that's really, really nice from your tight end. Okay. Well, for my flex position, and then again, this might change, but I think because I just flipped my lineup around with Bird, like we were talking about the last segment. But for my flex, I got 4,900 Darius Slayton.
We were just talking about him.
That's who I got. I have Darius Slayton as my flex.
Yeah, I love this kid.
I'm surprised you picked him because they're playing against the Niners.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my beat up Niners?
Yeah.
I mean, listen, your friends aren't always going to get you paid. Like, we know this. Okay?
But I was telling Mike that Darius Slayton is averaging 18.8 points a game.
Yep. Well, I mean, that was also because he had a big, huge 31-point game week 1. But
sure.
No, I've watched this kid all last season. I don't like Sterling Shepard at all, and I think he might even be out this week. Is that right? I'm not 100%. If not, he's questionable.
Yeah, no, I think he is. I think he's injured. Yeah.
Yeah. They are reeling. Both of these teams that we're playing, because don't think I'm not going to have Jerick McKinnon and Jeff Wilson in a lineup too for my Niners. I will, and I'll probably have a Mullins lineup as well. But I love watching this kid Slayton. I think he has the potential to be another Odell for New York. And that's really bold. They're going to need somebody to step it up if they're going to have any chance at all. And I think he's got the goods to do it as long as Daniel Jones, who I'm also high on as well, as long as Daniel Jones can get him the ball.
Awesome. Dave, who do you have?
We already talked about me. I got Bird from
that's right, the bird droppings.
Bird droppings. Got the little bird
droppings.
droppings.
Let's take that one back again because it's a new segment. So
sure.
let's go ahead. So Dave, who do you have?
I've got Bird from New England. Watched him play against Seattle last week and was really impressed. Cam hits him all the time. He seems to be a nice safety net favorite target of Cam, so they have some kind of relationship. They're going against the Raiders. They're at home in New England, and yeah, I'm not expecting a ton, but I think he's a good flex and a good base to get like some decent points for you.
Awesome, Mike. Did that help at all with your flex pick? Any of these picks?
Well, yeah, man, it all helps because so I had Renfro as my flex, just because with the Raiders and like their whole receiving situation, and Waller, whether he's going to get the ball a ton or not this week, if he's playing injured, whatever. But then realizing that like Renfro just isn't a guy yet that's really shown any. He hasn't really put in the work yet for fantasy to really dive in. So that helped because I was like, I'll put Bird as my flex. Well, that also freed up some money. And so then I was like, well, I'll change one of my receivers. And because of this conversation, it is Slayton.
Nice.
I'm not a leader, guys. I'm a follower. That's something I've spent 44 years of my life having to come to terms with, but I'm okay with it. Ask Dave about.
You're an actor. That's your job, is to follow. It's to take direction and do what you're supposed
do what
to
you
do.
tell me.
It certainly explains why I never get lead parts. But yeah, just if you talk to Dave about our Call of Duty Warzone jaunts, I'm definitely a follower, not the leader.
Wait. Are you guys on Call of Duty?
Oh, Alex, I was going to ask you this. Are you on Call of Duty?
Yeah.
Bro.
Dude.
All right.
Are you doing Modern Warfare or are you doing the actual game, the full game?
No. Modern Warfare. We're doing Warzone. We're doing the drop in and kill everybody.
All right. We're playing later tonight.
We're playing tonight. You, me, and Mike. Steve, get a PlayStation, Xbox One. You can join us.
I am terrible at that game, by the way. Fair
warning.
So
are often us when we play.
Can I play it on my PS3? Or does that have to be my
PS4? No, sorry,
gotta
buddy.
be the 4.
Or your PC.
Buddy, you got a 5 coming out in like
I know
2 months. So
that's what I've been holding out for. I've been waiting for that.
Just
waiting for the PS5.
I
have to play some Assassin's Creed and Uncharted.
The best.
Good titles.
I did all of those. Yeah. I love them.
Okay, let's
keep moving. To fill out my roster. So.
All right, so now we're down to defense.
Yep.
Last category.
Y'all gonna hate me.
I mean, I don't have very much money, so we're gonna.
I worked my salary out perfectly, apparently.
All right.
Hey.
So
and part of it a part of it was because I followed your wide receiver choices, and I went with Slayton as well.
Nice.
I got rid of D-Jack, and so I jumped onto Slayton bandwagon.
D-Jack's not a bad choice either, but
he's a more expensive choice with slightly less numbers, and so it freed up some money. And so my defense is going to be Chicago.
Hey, that's solid
against
pick.
Atlanta. I think that they're going to do okay against Atlanta. I think Atlanta's got a lot of problems. And my other choice was going to be Seattle's D, and I decided I want to follow the rules, so I didn't pick it.
Got to follow the rules, man.
Yep. I dig it.
Okay. Not my favorite defense, but I think it's okay if you're not leaning on the defense to bring you in points as much, which I don't think you should be. And if you're still within your budget, the Bears are not. They're a nice middle defense, and they're going up against Atlanta, who's not playing great. And there's no home field advantage right now.
And they're healthy too, right?
And they're healthy.
They're healthy. Yeah. You got Khalil Mack, dude.
Yeah.
That's it. Nice.
Go for it, Mike. What you got?
I picked I went with the one that everyone goes with at this time. I'm going with the Colts. They're playing the Jets.
Yep.
At home. I also like this year that with Philip Rivers, throwing that ball, as much as he drives me crazy, the one thing he does is defenses tend to have to step up a little bit for Philip Rivers' game. But I just think playing the Jets are just demoralized right now.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that most of daily fantasy has picked the Colts because they're playing the worst team.
They'll be the chalk D. Tampa Bay also against Denver.
Yeah, but at Denver is always
mile high.
Yeah, no crowd or whatever. They're still dealing with the air.
Yep.
One thing I will say though is that it's a different Tampa Bay team coming to Denver. Tom Brady
100%.
knows what it's like to play in Denver. He's getting that team prepared. In fact, what's happening right now is I realize that I have $600 remaining on my salary, and now I might convince myself to do Tom Brady.
Hey,
because I can afford him.
Oh, there
instead
you
of Trubisky.
But then I have to root against the Broncos, and I just cannot ever do that.
Nothing about your backdrop says you can.
That's correct.
Friends don't get you paid.
It's amazing, though, who's available at that price range. I got Stafford and Joe Burrow as well available. I don't know, man.
Lots of options.
Trubisky away, but on turf. You know
on
what?
turf in Atlanta against a very bad Atlanta defense.
That's right, and I've got a stack. I'm good, guys. I've got $600 just to play with.
That's a very unique lineup, Mike, and it, if it hits, you're gonna win it all. That's for sure.
That's what I'm saying. It's unique. I'm gonna stick with the uniqueness of it.
There you go, Alex. You're on the moon. What's your defense on the moon?
Hey guys, I'm up here floating. By the way, I should have worn a green shirt.
Yeah, that was bad.
Green screen, but who knew? I didn't know where the show was going to take us. My choice was simply economics, only because I didn't have very much money left, and I went with sorry, Steve, the Giants. I think it's a very broken down San Francisco team traveling to New York. And they were only $2,700. So
hey, I don't blame you. Like I said, friends will get you paid on the moon.
I'm not on the moon. I'm just in outer space.
Or outer space. Woo! So jump into my pick, and then we'll close it out here. Like I said, all this crap we talked about the Jets. That might be all they have. Is their defense.
Okay.
That might be the only thing that can get them through this week.
Oh, boy.
Just with some semblance of something decent and good, and all that is good in the world.
I love a leap of faith. I love it.
Just admit it. You had no more money in your account.
In 2000, I was at 2000. That's it. The least expensive defense.
That's what I thought.
And Phillip Rivers has been known to throw the occasional pick six. All you need is one. He throws one a game. He throws a pick a game almost, I think, right? I don't know.
And he does it. He does it in the red zone almost every time. If I'm a Chargers fan, I am just so excited for a whole new era of not having to watch my quarterback drive us down to the 5-yard line and throw an interception.
Right.
And throw a pick six.
I think he had 4 last year. I just remember watching I think it was 2 in one game in the fourth quarter and then 2 the next game in the fourth quarter, again in their own red zone, and throws these picks, and it's just this guy, come on.
Not a bad deal for 2000.
No.
If the rest of my lineup, hey, as long as they don't score me negative points, I'm good.
Man, you guys got me in my head. I got this $600 remaining. Should I spend it, or should I just stick with what I got?
Here's what you do.
Go out and get yourself something nice. That's what you do.
Go out and get yourself something nice, and do about 5 other lineups with that $600 here and there and there and this and that.
Oh yeah, that's a good point.
Brady.
Yeah, just switch them out. Do this.
Burrows.
Get this. Yeah, get a better. I could get a stronger running back than Montgomery, I bet.
Do a bunch of them.
Okay, I'm gonna play with that.
Boy.
I'm gonna end up in the poorhouse because of this podcast. Thank you guys.
All you got to do is book another show. You don't seem to have any problem with that.
That's all I got to do.
Man.
Is just book one
it's
more
that
show.
easy. Call your agent. Yeah.
All right, guys. We're getting close to the end of the show. This is the recap part of our show. So we're going to recap our lineups. We're going to start with our guest, Mr. Mike Houston. Who do you? Let's read off your.
All right.
Your lineup.
After all was said and done, and after all of the the leadership qualities that I decided to throw out the window. I decided to take other people's advice for the whole thing. I got Trubisky at quarterback. I got Eckler at running back with Montgomery. I got Mike Evans, DK Metcalf, Slayton to wrap that out. Higbee at my tight end. I think is just going to be a monster. Bird at the flex, and Colt to short up.
Nice.
And
our other guest,
Random.
Dave, who do you have?
I can tell you what Dave is.
Mike, I can't get my
him?
roster. My roster's not showing up, so.
Okay, so
Mike could tell him.
Mike, why don't you tell us
Dave
Dave Hansen's
Hansen.
So Dave almost broke his rule, but because of the Bears on the defense, saved it. But he's got Russell Wilson at quarterback. He's got, like you said, Metcalf, Lockett, and Slayton at the receivers. His flex is the Bird, tight end Higbee, and he's got the two power runners, Nick Chubb and Leonard Fournette.
Yeah. I like it. It's not what I would have picked.
Lineup, man.
Awesome.
It's not what I would have gone with, but hey, Dave, good luck to you.
At least he submitted it this time. So
Mike, can you tell everybody that I say thank you?
Dave says thank you to everyone for worshiping his lineup, especially with all the Seattle players.
All right, what do you have, Steve?
All right. This lineup, I got Kyler Murray, Austin Eckler, Kenyon Drake, Hopkins to pair with Murray, Damiere Byrd for the value over there. And then since I went to Byrd and switched out my other two, I think it was Gage and Anderson, I was able to get up to Calvin Ridley.
Nice.
All right.
He's crushing it.
Receiver. Noah Fant. That is based on, I think it was Alex's recommendation or Mike's recommendation, one of the two recommendations. And then Slayton in my flex, Jets D for the Rivers pick 6.
There we go.
In salary.
All right, and for my picks, we have Phillip Rivers, James Conner, Miles Sanders, T.Y. Hilton.
You sound like you're from New England.
Tyler Lockett, Tyler Boyd, Noah Fant, Tyler Slayton, and the Giants. That's my pick for this week.
No idea where you're from. No idea.
I'm ethnically ambiguous.
Somewhere mid-Pennsylvania.
Somewhere. That's
ethnically ambiguous. That's how I like to call that accent. Hey, I go to the Groundlings. I'll have you know.
Oh, boy. Name drop.
I thought it was Second City. Was it Second City or is it Groundlings?
Both.
Hey, was that a bird drop?
It's both.
Big time.
All right, guys. We've reached the end of our show. Mike, what do you have coming up?
Pandemic is on the docket right now. At the moment, man, just nothing coming down the pike yet, but auditions, which is good because we're getting back to work.
Nice.
I just worked on a project. The problem is I don't know if I'm allowed to talk about it yet. So it's a really cool audio book, audio play. It's going to be on Audible down the line. Like I said, I didn't sign an NDA, but I don't want to get in trouble right now. So
fair enough.
It's pretty exciting. It's a kind of a new thing that they're trying with a pretty well-established novelist who decided to write this audio play. So when I have the permission to say it, I'll tell you guys all about it.
Sounds great, Mike.
And for the benefit of the folks at home, give us your social media handles. We can follow you on Instagram, Facebook.
So follow me on Instagram at The Big Fella, all one word, lowercase. On Twitter, I'm Mike Houston 2. And because the other Mike Houston is the head coach of the Eastern Carolina Pirates. So he got the first one. Mike Houston 2. And then, those are the two that I use the most.
Awesome. Hey, Dave, what do you got going on, buddy?
Oh, man, I'll be rooting for the Seahawks on Sunday. I'll be venturing into Verdansk to play Warzone almost every night with Mike and hopefully Alex. Other than that, man, just working on projects, just playing the game, just trying to stay creative and active while we start to get back to work. Looking forward to a week trip with my girl to the Jersey Shore next week.
Hey!
Get out of town and escape New York City and go be on the beach for a little bit. And to follow me on the social medias at Comic Dave Hansen on Twitter, and then the Dave Hansen on Instagram. That's me.
Nice.
Okay.
And Steve, you have kids, so we'll move on from you.
I gotta go to the dentist like now.
Okay.
I gotta take him to the dentist.
Go to the dentist, man.
I'm going to the dentist. I'll see you. I hope I don't get a root canal. And yeah, and that's it. No social media. I watched The Social Dilemma. You should stay off social media. That is bad.
You know what? I gotta watch that. I heard.
Ooh.
Also, you can catch
all of your viewers and listeners. Go vote, register.
Yeah, get the vote out. Yes, please.
Vote.
Everybody's voting.
Fantasy vote.
We also, you can catch my new episode of Cooking with a Cuban Under Quarantine, dropping on Monday on Instagram at AlexDMac, ALEXDMac. You can check it out right here. And that's about it, guys. Guys, thank you guys for being on the show. I had another great fun time.
That was awesome, man. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, man. We'll check you guys out. Good luck to everyone. And if any of your lineups hit, it was nice knowing you. So on behalf of everyone here at Stand Up Fantasy Football, thank you guys. I hope you enjoyed the show, and check us out next week. Goodbye.
Bye.
And that's it. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, man.
Thanks, Alex, man. That was fun, man.
Yeah, dude. Anytime, bro. We're always here.
We're gonna see you. We'll see you in Verdansk later tonight.
Maybe not tonight because the Dolphins play tonight, but definitely tomorrow.
All right.
What are your handles on PlayStation?
Well, I'm on Xbox. You can play cross platform.
Platform. I do that with my friends all the time.
So, I'm gonna remember what mine is.
I'll look you guys up tomorrow.
Yeah, we'll
find
email
out.
We can start a text.
Yeah, let's do a text thing because mine's it's kind of weird. So
Yeah, no worries. We'll do that. All right, guys, I gotta run because I got some stuff to do before the game. But thank you guys again, and we'll talk soon.
Later, buddy.
Thank you.
All right, guys.
Bye, Dave.